Previously heard on Chuck and
We
Bo.
got past the plate at church. That's how they used to cheat in the South. I mean, for real.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
No, it
We've
is.
read the stories.
Yeah.
But
You
what
could
a
accept a love offering back in the day. You couldn't accept a direct payment, but you could accept a love offering.
That's right.
It's true now. I don't think there have not been players that have been paid under the table over the years because they go give their testimony.
Oh, yeah.
It's the truth.
No, it's the traveling
And
evangelist.
people are like, "Oh, that's
Baby Billy,
blasphemous." No, it's not, man. It
The
happens.
Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "Let's start on the Chuck and Bo
There we
show."
go.
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
I don't know about you guys. I'm feeling pretty good today.
how's that?
Well, I don't know. I did not go out last night on Cinco de Mayo. I stayed in. I watched the Knicks. They came back and won, and woke up this morning, felt good. Life's good.
I don't think
What'd you do?
Cinco de Mayo is an evening kind of thing. I think
It was a daytime deal?
I thought
I didn't
you
do
were gonna
anything.
leave the show.
I didn't do anything.
And go have a margarita
No.
and some tacos.
I
and
didn't
have-
do any of that.
Have a nap.
I didn't do any of that.
Well, okay.
Well, I mean, I
That's
did nap,
fine. I mean,
but I didn't do
If
the
you don't want to celebrate
tequila
the 5th
and
of May, I
tacos
don't-
and all that. I didn't do all that.
well, I'll tell you what I did. I went to Chick-fil-A.
Hey, that is
Had
a
some
noted
nuggets.
Cinco de Mayo stop. It's a must stop.
I had Chick-fil-A yesterday, too.
Breezed right through.
Yeah.
Breezed. You got to know when to hit the spots.
That's true.
I'll go to the Mexican restaurants today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yesterday
fair.
was
That's
not
actually
the-
pretty smart.
That wasn't the day.
Yeah.
There was an event in Springdale at Taco Loco. If you haven't been there, that place is like, they've got a
Loco.
burrito the size of your head.
Really?
Yeah, and it's good.
a
I
big
didn't
burrito.
have that.
Yeah.
But I went by one of our partners, Flight by Yingling Premium Brands, also has, Corona and Modelo, and they were having an event there.
Cinco de Mayo
And
is
so
a big day for them.
I went by and said hello and, had a Modelo and a margarita and gave a nod to Flight by Yingling. And then I went to Chick-fil-A and I went home and I had every intention of watching the Knicks and Celtics. The next thing I know, I woke up and it was like 11:30 at night.
That'll happen.
It's time to move off the
well,
couch
it's
and go to
those,
bed.
it's that day drinking. that'll
It wasn't during
do
the
it every
day.
time.
It was like 5 o'clock.
Well, you had a couple
Well,
of
I was
drinks and the
kidding, yeah.
sun was still out. So I mean, that qualifies as day drinking.
Nothing. Yeah. Well, Chick-fil-A nuggets and listen. When I get home in the evening, I mean the countdown is on.
Well,
The
I
countdown
can
is
relate.
on. I am looking forward to the lights being out, so I can be well rested and ready to match wits with Chuck Barrett,
Well, it's like during the week,
which I don't do, but I've got to give him my best shot.
During the week, it's like, no, I can't do that tonight. I have to be at work in the morning, and my preparation for that's going to begin about 4 o'clock this afternoon. So from that point on, I'm out.
I did notice you said bang.
I did.
You went bang on the Knicks.
I
win last
resisted
night.
the temptation to send out the message. I was going to say tweet, but you guys know I don't do that. The text. I was going to wait to send that out, but then Edward jumped right in there, and so I had to respond.
Inbound. It's off to Browns. Reaches there. They hold it. They drop it. It's over.
It's over. Bang.
Comeback and a Game 1 win for New York.
As good as Kevin Harlan is, I miss Mike Breen right there. I miss bang.
Hey, you can't go wrong either way there.
I know Bart doesn't, but I do. Yeah, that to me, that is now iconic.
It is.
Like that, to me, that nothing will
Certainly
match
on
that.
this show, it is.
Nothing will match bang now.
No, you're
Sorry,
right.
Bart,
I
don't
thought
know
about
what-
it repeatedly
you
last
took that,
night.
You took
Bart,
that
you
and
thought
turned
about it
into,
too. I know you did.
Like it's a
No, I
legacy
did
thing.
not. Yes,
You did.
did.
You
You
did. Now
thought about
bang
it.
is just like part of. If it's not followed by bang, it didn't happen. Like when my son,
Not a big moment.
When my son, I think my son's still going to graduate from high school. When he in 2 weeks, when he hopefully walks across the stage, I want to yell bang. That's what I want to do.
That would be fun. Someone should do that.
Yeah, I think
Maybe from the back.
Actually, I need to get into the PA system there at Bud Walton Arena and see if we can pull that off.
You could play the Mike Breen cut right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We'll just that'll be
great.
it.
That would be great.
One time.
Oklahoma City lost last night too. Denver won.
All right, catch me up, guys.
Denver won.
We got baseball. We got softball. We got all kinds of. We got Mother's Day coming up. We got all kinds of stuff to get into. The coaches' salaries
it's an important week.
that need to be cut and they need to be changed and they need to be moderated. They need to be whatever. We'll get into
Nick
that.
Saban's going to save us all.
I don't know about that. Nick Saban's making like $200,000 to show up and talk at a graduation for 5 minutes.
You think he got that much?
Oh yeah, Rick Neuheisel flat out said on Sirius XM the other day that he had a friend at a corporate event who won an award, like some real estate company out in California. Saban came in to speak, and Saban got $200,000 to speak.
Yeah.
And I told somebody about that, and they told me that they thought it'd be more.
Unbelievable. I mean, it's just incredible. Give the guy credit. I mean, he's built the brand, but wow.
He's never been bigger. He's as big now. He's as in demand now as he's ever been. Well, but we'll get into all that.
All right,
tell me about
I got some thoughts on that.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Tell me, just catch me up. Catch me up. I don't know what's going on with the playoffs. Can y'all catch me up? NBA playoffs. Fire
Thunder
away.
are
Who wants
frauds.
to go?
Yeah.
The Thunder are frauds.
Jump right in there, Edward.
68 wins. They're
Well,
not even going to get to the Western
They're a great
Conference
regular
Finals.
season team. There's a difference.
They're frauds.
You're playing the same team every game. I mean, you're studying just this.
All right, this is terrible. Can somebody set it up for me?
All right.
Can
So
somebody,
we're in the Eastern. We're in the
talk
Eastern.
to me
We're in
as
the.
if I know nothing.
We're in the Eastern Conference semifinals. The Knicks are playing the Celtics. Knicks took a 1-0 lead in the series. Nuggets are playing the Thunder. The Nuggets lead the series 1-0 after a win last night. Pacers and Cavs tonight. Indiana leads that series 1-0.
That's on the Eastern Conference side.
Yeah, Warriors, Timberwolves, the other West Conference semifinal. They start their series tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bart.
There you
I was
go.
going to
Chevy
say,
of Fayetteville Situation Room.
is everything okay, Bart?
The Knicks.
Everything's fine.
I have some. Can I add something?
Sure.
The Knicks are 4-0 on the road in the playoffs. I got that for you.
Hey,
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
So I know nothing about the NBA playoffs, and I know something you don't.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
That's the NBA for
it's
you.
instinctive with you.
I mean,
it's just instinctive.
Me finding those little.
That's right.
Just
You see and hear
Tell me
things others
something I don't
see
know.
and hear.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just part of the appeal right
listen
there.
to ESPN radio on the way in.
I was going to say, where'd you pick that up this morning?
Just on the way in.
Hey, the baseball team's talk of the town right now. Softball, too. I mean, they are and our softball's ranked number 1. I think everybody's trying to figure out how Texas is still ranked number 1 in baseball. But Dave was at the Swatters Club yesterday. Courtney Deifel's the toast of the SEC right now. Conference tournament starts this week. There's a lot going on there. Today?
Yeah.
Okay. Arkansas
Powerball.
plays tomorrow, though, right?
Arkansas plays tomorrow.
All right.
Winner of Kentucky and Georgia.
Okay. And they play today.
Yeah.
Anybody play the Powerball?
Did not.
Can't say I did.
Was that last night? I just saw something.
I honestly have no idea.
I don't know. I saw something on social media or something about it being,
Well, I like to go for the safer
What's
bets.
it at?
Like,
It
horse
was
racing.
last night, yeah.
Yeah.
16, 34, 40, 45, 16, Powerball.
Of course,
19.
Bart.
how much
knows.
was it worth?
Let's see if I can.
I always wait till it raises to the level of worth my time.
Well, I can tell you the next
Rises.
drawing, which is Wednesday tomorrow, is $65 million.
Did you have any action last
Is
night?
that
on
worth your time?
No, I did not.
Did you not? Do you play the Powerball?
Every once in a blue
This is
moon.
the ongoing thing with me in the Powerball. It's funny. $65 million is not worth my time. But if it gets up to $300 million, then I'm gonna buy a ticket. Now this is how people are. Yeah. Like we do this.
Yeah.
Like it's like hey, better go. It's $300 million. Like if $65 million wouldn't change your life.
Right, but you do it because you want to be at that point. It's part of the national conversation. It's part of the water cooler conversation. You have to be part of it, right?
That's
You've
right.
got to be in it.
You wanna
when
play.
it's just $65 million, nobody's talking about
That's
the Powerball.
fair. So if you
but
go-
when it's
You
nailed it.
$500
You
million,
nailed it.
everybody's
You're
talking
exactly
about
right.
it.
So you go into the water cooler and it's at $65 million and you're a degenerate gambler.
Yeah.
Bart gets the Powerball when it's only like $60 million.
Yeah.
Golly, it's all you do is gamble, isn't it?
You know,
How do you afford your car payment?
Do you guys remember before you could buy them here, driving up the like state line up there in Missouri. I can remember doing that when the Powerball first came into being. And one time it was like 300 million, and you couldn't buy them.
People
in
are
Arkansas
still doing that, but it's for marijuana.
What? I guess that's right. I hadn't thought about that, but I guess that's right.
It's just a new thing now. Remember when it used to be
always
a
something
Powerball?
shiny and new.
Now it's a gummy.
Oh, that's funny.
You got to drive up there to Missouri.
I hadn't thought about that. That is true.
Hey, while you're there, go to Macadoodles. It's just right there north of the state line. Go get.
If you can just get into Missouri, if you can just get into Missouri, man.
Just get to Missouri. You got Macadoodles. You got Wine Down Wednesday tomorrow. 15% off every bottle of wine. Get you a Powerball ticket. You can go to that place around the corner. Whatever you want to do there.
Oh, wow. That's where it all comes together.
Well, I mean,
right?
we're
Just get to Missouri.
We do real life here on the Chuck and Bo Show.
That is funny.
It is. It's what happens. 877-377-6963. You can listen to us anywhere on the Hit That Line Now app. I was listening to a podcast of the show the other day. Sounded pretty good. You sound remarkably good.
Well, so do you.
But if you missed the show,
I knew if I'd listened, I would have probably said, "Man, that
somebody's got to listen to it to make sure it's actually there." You know, like we tell people, "Hey, you can catch the show on demand at Chuck and Bo Show, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get podcasts." And I wanted to find out if it was true. So I went and checked, and sure enough, it was there.
It is there.
And then I have heard from people who catch the show that way because they're not up at 6:15 or whatever, and they want to hear something that happened on the show. Like if you missed our tribute to the late Harold Horton yesterday, you could go catch it on the podcast in the third hour, about 8:30, about halfway through the third hour, and it's also a condensed version, like you don't have to hear, all of the breaks. You can just kind of catch the content, most of the content.
And when the show's not good, we just edit that out.
And when the show is not, I notice every once in a while, like it won't be up there, like today's show, and I'm like, I guess
wasn't worth it. It's not worth the trouble.
Didn't go as well as we thought it did.
Yeah.
The powers that be, Edward,
I was going to say Edward thought,
and a group of interns decided that's not going to happen. You can follow us on social media at Chuck and Bo Show on all the social media platforms. Today's National Teacher Appreciation Day.
National Nurses Day.
Yeah.
National Beverage Day.
Shout out to my daughter-in-law, Micah. She's a nurse, so I guess I should send her a text.
Bob Seger's 80 years old today.
National Beverage Day.
Yeah.
Bob Seger, 80. Does this affect the way you think about your mortality when we do the birthdays?
Are you looking at me?
All
of a sudden, all eyes in the room are on me.
Well, just because you're slightly older than anyone else in the room.
Yeah.
It affects me. It makes me think about it.
I'll tell you what
gets me. People that you grew up looking up to.
No, I'll tell you what gets me.
That are iconic in your mind. Like, they're getting old. Like
when
80s.
they, trot these players out that were like the guys I kept up with when I was like a kid and a teenager, and I look at them now, if they're still alive, and they're old men. I mean, they're just old men. And I don't care how many games you played, how great you were as an athlete, there comes a point where you're just an old man.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of them are right now. And I look at them, and that's when I think, man, you're next. That's what I think. Well, I mean, I'm the next. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Bart, you're going to age, and someday it's not going to, freak you out like it does now.
You're next.
But you get to a point where you just know that my generation's next.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality of it. I'm not scared of it.
I think there might be another lesson in there somewhere that
I hope so.
Eventually, no matter what you accomplish, you're still going to die.
Well, that's right.
And so,
I don't mean it in a bad way. I don't mean it in a morbid way.
Having a flourishing life, having a life of purpose, having a life of thinking of others, having a life with a little bit of legacy in mind. Like, did I make this better than I found it, or did I just take? There might be some of that in there, along with I'm next. It's the Chuck and Bo.
No, I didn't think about all those other things.
Good morning. He's Chuck Barrett.
He's Bo Mattingly.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeickerGriffin.com.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit gopaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
Why don't you just kind of style it up a little bit at the game? Let's get your drip going.
Hey, I got a lot more drip than you think.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
One of the rules we set down when we started this show was we're not going to leave our best shots on the driving range.
We do it every day.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That Boogie Fland thing we talked about last week.
Yeah.
Really created some waves. And now
Jeff Goodman
has said it's insanely inaccurate. What is he saying is insanely
Not
inaccurate?
just
exactly.
inaccurate,
What is he saying?
insanely.
What is he saying?
inaccurate.
Because this is a good case study on how social media works.
Okay, so here's the tweet from College Basketball Report.
Right.
It says, if five-star Arkansas freshman Boogie Fland withdraws from the NBA draft and returns to college, he could command up to $7 million from the reigning national champion Florida Gators per Bo Mattingly.
Clickbait.
Now,
That's clickbait.
How much of that did I say? Now, we'll go back to the post that we made that you guys put out of what I said, because that's kind of what I said, but that's not what I said. And I didn't say
it's cherry picking.
I said I thought that Florida. I said the whole thing came from Florida being a story from Florida's media, like somebody in the Florida media said that they were in the mix for Boogie Fland. You want play? So this is the clip that we posted from something I said on the show. Go ahead. Edward and that computer,
I know.
Edward's going to punch every day.
Let's try again.
Okay. All right. So I saw this story yesterday from a media outlet in Gainesville covering the Gators. They were one of the favorites to land Boogie Fland in the transfer portal if he doesn't stay in the draft. I did some digging around, talked to some people, and I was surprised to hear what I'm about to tell you. I believe that Boogie Fland, if he doesn't stay in the draft, could end up getting $5, $6, maybe $7 million to play somewhere else.
Good for him.
Right. If you're Arkansas, is that what you say? Man, good for you. We love you. You're still family. Go get your money. So I saw this. So that's the clip, and now it's only $7 million. Now it's Boogie and $7 million.
Well, and it's not just a story you picked up from the Florida media. It's like Bo Mattingly said that Boogie Fland was going to get $7 million.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens.
But here's the other thing. But that's just a case study. So you can just take and do with that what you will. But this is how information travels. Okay, just so you know, on social media. So that clip has now turned into, I said he's going to basically get $7 million. And Jeff Goodman's like, that's insanely inaccurate. Well, first of all, Jeff Goodman, you are not the only person that knows anything about NIL or how much money somebody's getting. And I would argue that sometimes you're the last to find out. Secondly, I don't think, Chuck, that anybody really knows what anybody's really getting in terms of the outside world, the guys that aren't actually involved giving or getting the money.
Well,
so
I'm sure
all of
that.
these numbers we hear and get, how do you know if they're accurate? So Kentucky's reportedly got a $20+ million roster already. And I'm not sure they're done, like with the transfer portal. But do we know how accurate that is?
Yeah, I think sometimes the highest number, as was the case here, that's the one that is suddenly becomes the number. That's the one where you start, and it just goes from there. But it's not just social media. It's always been this way.
That's fair.
I can
talk
remember
in the hallway, and then you go down the hallway to the next classroom, and by the time you've gotten there, you have a baby.
I'll give you an example.
Sure.
Maybe not as good an example as that one.
It's Chuck and this girl in high school are seeing each other.
Whoa.
I'm talking about the way information travels.
Oh, okay.
Somebody said something. By the time you get down to the end of the hallway to the next classroom, like it's a baby.
Yeah.
It's called the telephone game.
No, but what I was going to say.
Wow, Chuck's got blood. He's
just the thought. I mean, no one would have believed that story because it would have had to have had a date. But
wow,
I was thinking about back in the day when Ford was the coach. I just started doing sports rap, and Arkansas had lost like one of those games under 4 they were supposed to win, and they didn't. And Tuberville's name was coming up. This was when Tuberville was going to be the coach, and I can remember saying on the show, "You're going to hear his name." But whether or not he's the guy, I don't know. Now, I didn't realize I was probably the first one to say that on the air. Next day, Tulsa World, Chuck Barrett reports Tommy Tuberville's in the mix.
Dang
so
right.
This is always going on.
Oh, yeah.
This is always going on. He took the highest number and ran with it.
Well, and forgot about the word could.
Yeah.
If.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, I didn't pull that number. Like, that number does not come from me. But if you're one of the teams talking to Boogie Fland, I'll just say this. That number has been thrown around. Those numbers have been thrown around. And this is a little bit of an inside look at the conversations. Whether it's true or not is only partly relevant, because if Boogie's representation is telling you, and you're one of the teams that are trying to get him to come play for you, that's what it's going to take to get him. That is what happens. That is part of what goes on. What he actually gets, the Nico thing, we saw all that play out. I mean, wanted $4 million. What did he actually end up getting? We don't know. Nobody knows. There's been reports, but do we actually know? And that's another issue with this whole thing. And we'll get into this at some point today, maybe in the next segment, about coaches' salaries. At least we know with coaching salaries what they get, because they're working for the school and it's a state institute. Now, we don't know about private institutions, but public universities, we know what the salary and the total comp package is. We don't have any idea with these college athletes.
See, I think even coaches' salaries are misreported. Most of the time when you hear like a coach makes, I'm just pulling numbers out of the air, $7 million. That's if he hits every single incentive.
Yeah, there are details at times that are missed.
I'll use the Southwest Classic as an example. Remember, each school is going to get $5 million. No, each school is going to get $5 million if every seat in the house is sold, if everything is maxed out. And it wasn't Jerry Jones giving them the money. They were splitting the take. I mean, they had a breakdown on the take. If everything maxes out, that's what he gets. There's only one or two guys out there that are going to completely max out. Everybody else is going to fall short on incentives. So even some of this came to light. If you'll remember when the Nolan Richardson trial was going on, and Houston Nutt's salary and Coach Richardson's salary and all that stuff came out in court, it wasn't quite as much as a lot of us thought it was, what they were actually bringing in. Because those numbers tend to be inflated as well. And a lot of times it's when that max numbers hit, that's the number that's reported.
Insanely inaccurate.
Insanely.
How about we just stop with insane? like it's all just insane.
They're going to make more than we are this year. I mean, I think that's the fair thing. Of course,
why don't we start that? Why don't we start?
Who's making more? Who's making more, Bart or Boogie?
Why don't we start our own sort of like inflation here on the Chuck and Bo Show? Who's in? That's a great idea.
Bart's been offered all kinds of NIL money to switch shows.
There's a lot of tampering going on.
Can't buy my loyalty.
Yeah,
there's a lot of tampering. Well, if you could, you would have left. From what I hear, you would have been gone a long time ago. I mean, just like you would have moved back to a little bit later in the day. For all those little barbs, there's an attraction there that I know that you're highly sought after.
Is this the summer of Bart? Are we entering into the summer of Bart?
It's already started.
May 22nd is that the first official day of summer? May 22nd, is that right?
Already started.
The summer of Bart.
Hey, it's Mother's Day coming up. We know that's not inaccurate. That is totally accurate. And Blakeman's Fine Jewelry in Rogers wants to help you out. So if you don't know what to do, what to get, how to mark the occasion, go in there, have a glass of Prosecco, kick your feet up, or a latte at the Cafe B, and just say, look, I need some help. Like, just help me out. Like, give me some ideas. Give me some suggestions. Give me some thoughts. Because it's not just buying a piece of jewelry. It's about marking the moment, having a story, telling the story, and being able to take the purple bag home and sit it there, and it's like, ooh, what's in the bag? And watch the smile happen. Be the hero on Mother's Day. We got a few Mother's Day ideas for you that we'll pass along, that have been passed along to us because we don't have any ideas. We don't have any original ideas. But Blakeman's can help you out. Check out that newly renovated store. It's more than jewelry. It's your story at Blakeman's Fine Jewelry in Rogers at 631. Good morning. For Chuck Barrett, I'm Bo Madden.
Yeah.
Good morning. Hey, kids, how about a bagel?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I'm Dr. Scotty Bolding, a native Arkansan oral and maxillofacial surgeon. One of my goals is to make Arkansans healthier.
If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies.
Sleep is probably God's gift of medicine that we really don't utilize enough. If you have obstructive sleep apnea, it needs to be treated. So you need to be wearing your CPAP. So if you're not wearing your CPAP, there are some potential surgical solutions that can help you that actually work today. By correcting the jaw deformities that may be causing this obstructive sleep apnea is where we focus.
Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better.
Hey, give us a call, 479-755-3000, or log on to our website, precedent.com, PRECIDENT. We'd love to help.
Today's been it's been a strange day.
Yeah, we've had some struggles here and there. Let's just be blunt. Can we be blunt?
Well, it's 50-50 at best.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would venture to bet 3 out of every 4 head coaches are absolutely worthless around the house. They can't do anything. Your commode messes up, call the guy. They hadn't mowed a yard in 15 years.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, the Nick Saban, Tommy Tuberville, NIL, all this has made their way back into the news. And Saban, that $200,000 appearance you were talking about, this is I like what he said.
Some good life advice.
Yeah, some
right
good
here.
life advice. Play this.
Take notes, kids.
Yeah.
First of all, have compassion for other people. Treat people like you would like to be treated. Treat people nicely on your way up. You might meet them on the way down. It's nice to be important, but it's also more important to be nice. So that was the first thing, compassion for other people. The second thing is be responsible for your own self-determination. You got to earn it. Don't look at somebody else. Don't blame somebody else. You be responsible for your own self-determination and have accountability for what your job is and what you need to do. And the last thing is it's not about beating the other guy. It's not about being better than somebody else. It's about you being the best that you can be. You know, we won 26 games when I played Pop Warner football in a row. Then we won 30-some in high school in a row, and it was never good enough. And I could never understand that. But my dad said it's not about beating the other guy. It's about you being the best that you can be at whatever you choose to do.
That'll get you ready for the
Well,
day.
yeah.
Right
I
there.
mean, I don't know if that's $200,000 worth of speech right there. That's pretty good.
Well, that was just.
I mean, it's pretty good.
I think that was just him introducing the
Yeah,
president.
He introduced the president.
And then he had, 3 points to make.
And they talked about NIL. They talked about what we talk about. Hey, what's wrong with college football out there? College sports is all screwed up. And you had Saban talking to the president about it, and Trump said, I'm going to issue an executive order on it. Well, I don't know what that means. But I just have to say, as a lot of this conversation has gone on, and I've been like everybody else. There have been so many days I've looked at college sports and I've just thought, what in the world is going on here? But it's not lost on me that you got a guy that made $10, $12 million a year from coaching football. That's $1 million a month, virtually, for coaching football. And Tuberville, who was the first $1 million coach out there. It's not lost on me. And Trump's a billionaire. It's not lost on me that all these old rich guys are saying, oh, my God, it's going to hell in a handbasket. We can't have these players making this kind of money. It's almost as though they're saying, that kind of money's reserved for us. That's our money. That's the kind of money we make. This all coincides with the story from Athlon Sports a few days back about how, and you talked about it, I guess, yesterday, about the possibility of coaches' salaries being cut, administrators' salaries being cut. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. You and I were talking about this a little bit earlier. It's not all the money that's being paid necessarily to the great coaches. It's all the money that's being paid to the guys that aren't that good. You know,
there's a floor.
I mean, just get a head coaching job.
Really high.
And I mean, get ahead. And I'm not saying they pass him out on the street corner. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying that the whole thing didn't sit right with me. I'm just going to say it. And I don't like the fact that college sports has turned into what it is. But the optics on that were bad. And I'm not sure that it really resolved anything. And the idea that, Saban and Tuberville and the president are going to get together and solve it, it goes back to what we were talking about last week, that we all are looking for one person to fix this. And I'm just not, and I'm a Saban guy. I've said on this show, I've said on other shows, I think he ought to be the czar of college football. There's a time when I thought that. I'm not sure I really think it anymore. But I don't know. It just that's great life advice. And Saban's a great coach, and he's on the pedestal, and he's earned the right to be there. But again, the guy got paid $200,000 to be there, And we say, well, if a player shows up at a bank and he's making so-and-so, if you're paying him $20,000, that's just outrageous.
That's why J.R. Carroll told us the other day the evaluation of the NIL moving forward will not be really a thing that holds water.
Well, it's not.
Because the marketing agents will point to things like that. Let me play the other side a little bit. I don't know if these guys are saying that players shouldn't make a lot of money as much as they're trying to say we've got to have a system that's not complete free market, free agency. You know, where we have no.
But those guys aren't the ones to be making that argument.
Well, who is? I mean, that's the problem. Who is?
Yeah, that's fair.
But it started. The whole thing started with coaches being, if we want to use the word overpaid, being overpaid. And Tuberville was the first $1 million guy. And then the same thing that's happening with players now happened with coaches then, which is, okay, Tuberville's getting $1 million. So if somebody else has a really good season, you got to pay them more. Right. And then somebody else has a really good season. And then you get Jimmy Sexton, the world's, best coach's agent. And he's out there getting, as he should, getting what he can for his clients. So then that keeps escalating, and there's no cap on that now. I mean, you guys, we can remember when a coordinator, the first $1 million coordinator, well, now coordinators are making, $2+ million. Head coaches that are, don't have big winning records are making $5-6 million. So now here come the players. The whole thing is out of whack from the coaches to the players. Now, if you're a coach, I guess you can argue that you manage a massive revenue stream for your university in your athletic department. And you're the leader of that. And also you have, in some cases, a resume behind you where if you're a new player, maybe you don't. But whatever it is, like however we're going to get there, how do we get there? Like we got to get somewhere to regulate, just like any professional business does, how you slot things. And the revenue sharing and this supposed NIL evaluation that's coming is an attempt to do that. But I will submit to you, until we get a guideline that is the same across the board and it's not ruled individually by states who can change laws based on the state you live in, that disrupts whatever regulation you're trying to have across, let's just say, college football. Until we get somebody that can authoritatively say this is what's happening and everybody plays by the same rules, we're going to have the situation we have with coaches now and players now.
I don't think that's going to happen.
We're ever going to get there.
I don't think we're going to get there.
Are we going to get coaches' salaries pulled back? Will there be a cap on that?
They'll be the last ones to take cuts. Departments, if it happens, and I'm not convinced it's going to, because there's always somebody you can go to for a little more money, and if you're winning games, they're always happy to give it to you. But I think coaches' salaries, the high-level administrator salaries, well, those are going to be the last to be cut. I mean, there are going to be other jobs that are eliminated. People will leave, and this is happening at a lot of departments. People are leaving their jobs, for example, moving somewhere else. They're just not replaced. They just don't replace them. And but I hate to sound less than optimistic, but
I think that you're being logical. From a common sense standpoint, I don't see the answer right now. I mean, that's kind of how we got here.
I know one thing. They can all afford a good house. And Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, is where we go, regardless of your budget. And they've got a home for you. And, the one thing that you find out when you go buy a home is there's a lot you don't know. And sometimes there's money out there that you're not aware of. If you're early, say, in your home buying life. Yeah. It's a first time out. There's money available that perhaps you did not realize was there. Let them help you with that. It'll make the process so much easier. That's what you get when you deal with a real estate professional. And that's what you get at Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. Washington and Benton counties, Fort Smith, Branson. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can log on to WeichertGriffin.com. You can tell I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, you can beat inflation and upgrade your ride at Chevy of Fayetteville. Right now, drive home a brand new Chevy Silverado, Blazer, Equinox EV, or the Tough 2500 with rates as low as 1.9% APR. Plus, take advantage of huge discounts and get top dollar for your trade-in. Go see Chris, Mark, and Denver at Chevy of Fayetteville, where the deals are big and the road ahead is even better. Chevy of Fayetteville. Let's drive. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, if you're struggling to get your Social Security disability, or you're buried in debt thinking about bankruptcy, don't wait. You need a legal team that knows how to fight for Arkansans.
That's why you can trust Cadell Reynolds. Bill Reynolds and his team know how to get results when it matters most. Whether it's personal injury, disability, or bankruptcy, they've got the experience and they've got your back.
So don't go it alone. Make the right call. Dial 866-314-3728 or visit CadellReynolds.com today.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
There's simply not a better shopping experience than Macadoodles. Looking for the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits? Macadoodles or Guess Who in Bentonville has you covered. With an unbeatable selection, amazing prices, and service that's unbeatable, they've got everything you need. Whether you're stocking up for a party, updating your bar, or just grabbing your favorites, Roger and the team are always there to help. Make the smart choice. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista at the state line, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
Hey, it's moms, dads, and grad season at Splash Car Wash, and they're running a special offer just for listeners of the Chuck and Bo Show. Right now, buy one best car wash and get 2 free. One for mom, one for dad, one for your favorite grad, or just keep one for yourself. We won't tell, because we know how good it feels to drive a clean car. Triple the shine with 3 car washes for only $27. Text Splash Arkansas to 22322 for the link to access this exclusive online offer.
If you haven't tried a flight by Yuengling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yuengling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yuengling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer.
How was Saturday night for you after the game? What'd you do to celebrate?
The only remedy, I thought maybe get a few cold beers in there and maybe help it out a little bit.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Summer's coming.
I'm already ready for summer. I'm ready for summer.
It's great. We're about to get Chuck off the road.
Chuck's looking forward to that.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
How
Summer
has
of
that
Bart.
been?
Summer of Bart.
Yeah, it is summer.
Oh, it's
How's
fun.
it been being
It's
off
good.
the road?
It's good. It's great. It's great. We get to be in here with you guys.
What does
every
the
day.
summer of Bart look like?
I don't know, but there's a lot going on right now. I mean, fighting at ballparks, winning the Kentucky Derby. I mean, it's
We've got a
lot going on.
I don't know. To your point, though,
He was the star of the social media post yesterday that Edward put out. I mean, it's Bart's time.
And it's Mother's Day, and we've got somehow Bart's got a gift. It's Mother's Day.
What?
And we're going to talk about it in a few minutes, and somehow Bart's going to end up with a gift. Like this is the kind of thing you're talking about. The fortuitous bounces that Bart is getting.
I guess so. Well, I forgot about the watch.
Look, we
I
got
forgot about the watch.
we
watch
got to
for
work on the
Blakeman's.
branding for this, though, if this is going to be a thing, because in Seinfeld, the Summer of George does not work out well for him at all.
You're not going to do
but-
drugs, are you?
You're Bart.
No.
The Summer of Bart, you won't be
No.
doing okay.
No.
Summer of Love.
Well, some people think that they just do whatever. If it's their summer,
No.
it's their summer to try things. I don't want you going down that road.
Bart stock.
We're not going to do that.
We're gonna have Bart stock later this summer. in the summer
Music
of Bart,
festival?
we're gonna have Bart stock.
Did you see the Jeff Long news yesterday?
Yeah, about that.
Tip of the cap.
Jeff Long sighting.
Jeff Long's back on the college football playoff committee.
One year term.
Selection committee.
Steve Weiberg left the committee for personal reasons, and Jeff is taking his place.
Does anybody ever leave for anything other than personal
I don't know,
reasons?
because
if they leave unexpectedly?
Because I got tired of it. I guess it's a personal reason. I mean, I don't know. I just wanted to move on. Or I got caught doing something I shouldn't have done. That's a personal reason.
We don't
you
know. You never know.
Yeah.
Could be anything.
Who knows?
It just leaves the mind to wander.
Well, it does.
We're brought to you in part by
Happy for Jeff.
First Security Bank. I am too. Jeff's been around the committee, since the inception. He was the first selection chair.
I guess that's right. I forgot about that.
He's been around. I see him at the college football playoff. All those guys know each other.
Gather, while the rest of us merely watch on television.
I want to get you and David Basil on the selection committee. That's my goal.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
I want that to be my legacy.
That would be fun.
Speaking of legacy, First Security Bank, friendly professionals all over the great state of Arkansas. More convenient locations to help you bank better. That's what you get with First Security Bank. Member FDIC, the official bank of the Chuck and Bo Show.
Ty Story, high school football coach and former college quarterback.
I love coaching, but it's a lot more fun after LASIK. Now when I'm coaching, I can focus on my players and not my eyes. After LASIK, my eyes are even better than before when I had glasses or wore contacts. The McDonald Eye Team was great. They put me at ease. I couldn't believe how well I was seeing the day after surgery. Good vision and good football go together. I'm really glad I trusted my eyes to McDonald Eye Associates.
See your best with safe and affordable LASIK from McDonald Eye Associates. Register for your free consultation at mcdonaldeye.com.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
The doors are open, and it's a new era of elegance. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry has unveiled its stunningly redesigned 8,500 square foot showroom for an unmatched luxury experience. There's breathtaking jewelry, of course, expert service, and private viewing rooms designed for comfort. And they've got an in-house cafe with handcrafted coffee to go along with a special coffee table book celebrating Arkansas's heritage. Because it's more than jewelry, it's your story at Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. If you're having issues with your gutters or drainage around the house, you need to call Hog Trough Gutters. They're locally owned and operated with over 30 years of experience. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drains. Plus, they're fully licensed and insured, and every job comes with a 20-year guarantee. Hog Trough Gutters services all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Log on to their website, hoggutters.com, to find out more. That's hog, Gutters.com.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I don't know what on time is for you, but yeah, you got here before the show started.
Whatever. Hey, have you ever seen anyone that takes so much pride in being the first one here?
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
You ever just kind of wandering around, and out in front of a bunch of people and you realize your zipper's down? Has that ever happened to you?
Not in a while.
No,
not in a while.
It's a stunning revelation. Like, how long has that been going on?
Yeah.
How long have I been walking around with this mustard on my tie? Or how long have I been walking around with my zipper down?
How come somebody didn't tell me?
Hey, Chuck. Good to see you, Chuck.
Hey, man, your pants are unzipped.
You're
The Chuck and Bo radio show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
Driving my son to school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "What's heard on the Chuck and Bo show?"
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
I had this conversation with my wife last night because my daughter said something about, Dad came over on Monday and he seemed really confident last week, like he just knew they were going to beat Texas. And Karen says to my wife, says to me, she goes, "Well, you didn't say anything around me." I said, "You didn't ask me." I said, we were going to be rested up, and I felt really good about, I didn't tell my daughter Holland, yeah, we're going to kick Texas. I didn't say any of that. She just said I felt, you could just tell. I hadn't seen the babies in a week, and I went over to see him, and I don't know. She asked me a question or two, and I said, no, I feel good about the weekend.
There you go. DVH at the Swatters Club in front of a entertained audience.
I'm sure they were. He had a captive audience, I would imagine. He's pretty good at that. Now, one thing about Dave, I mean, you can tell Dave, hey, you got 20 minutes. Well, you better block out 40 because that's just how it's going to work. And
especially when things are going well.
Yeah, when things are going well, he'll talk a while. Hey, they were excited, and they ought to be excited.
Talk of the town, Arkansas baseball.
They are.
Number 3 in one poll, number 7 in another. I don't know how Texas is still number 1.
Is there a poll out there where the Razorbacks are ranked ahead of Texas? Is there a poll out there right now?
Not that I've seen.
I haven't seen it either. Every single one that came out yesterday
the ones
still
that
has
matter,
Texas ranked
The ones
higher.
that matter, D1 Baseball has Texas number 1. Baseball America has Texas number 2, but Arkansas number 3.
Did the voters take the weekend off?
Apparently.
I mean, what happened there?
I can't recall ever seeing a number 1 team in the country get swept and stay number 1.
Yeah. And they didn't just get swept. I mean, they got stomped 3 times. Huh.
Let's get a different opinion.
Yeah, let's do.
Dr. Jeff Swetnam's joined us in the studio. Mother's Day is coming up.
Doc.
And I asked him to come by and talk about something we could maybe do for Mother's Day, and somehow it turned into a gift for Bart.
It always does.
We'll get to.
It always does.
You prefer Dr. Swetnam? I never call you that because when I'm playing golf, I call you other names while you're beating me. Jeff Swetnam, Dr. Jeff Swetnam, SwetnamCosmeticSurgery.com, has a career as a doctor and many other things. Has lived in SEC country, Tennessee, Louisiana, wife's from Louisiana, but we all have this in common. He's a Razorback fan.
Attaboy.
So, I thought you were going to say.
So how do you feel about Texas still being ranked ahead of Arkansas?
Well, I actually, it's a good thing for Arkansas. We don't want to be number 1. When we're number 1, we end up getting out of the playoffs really early. Yeah. So let's just stay where we are, stay in our lane, keep our heads down, keep everybody healthy, and we'll do very well.
Softball's number 1 for the first time ever.
That's okay, though.
So we can live with that for, got to mark the achievement, and then let's get back to our spot.
Move on.
Kind of play from behind.
That's right.
Play as the underdog.
That's right.
Yeah, that's the thing. How do you deal with your wife's an LSU fan, right?
Yeah.
And they're playing LSU this week.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
Well, she likes to talk. I just I have mute button in my brain.
Yeah.
She's a big LSU fan. She's a Razorback fan too, unless they're playing LSU. Any other time, she's a big. She's Woo Pig Suey all the time. So it's okay.
You manage.
Yeah, manage.
She needs to watch a game with Bart this weekend. Bart and the LSU fans.
So LSU was here for softball last weekend.
Yeah.
And they left with 2 losses.
Yeah.
And Bart nearly got in a fight at the game, softball game.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it nearly got into a fight.
Well,
but
we've kind of
embellished for the sake of the
narrative on this has grown from a fan yelling at some Razorback fans to we think Bart instigated the whole thing.
Well, that's LSU. You don't get out of there without getting spit on.
See?
I've seen it happen. It happen.
Yeah.
Hey, there's nothing like leaving Tiger Stadium. Like when I was in the media, like covering games, And you go down to the press conference, which is down by the field level where near the locker room. And then you go back up to the press box. You're walking through empty stands full of mini Crown Royal bottles and Chick-fil-A sandwich wrappers.
Evan Williams.
At least they're not coming at you.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they're coming at you.
I've also been on the field with water bottles flying by my head. That was the Darren McFadden year. But anyhow, we digress. Mother's Day is coming up. You got some Mother's Day things that I want you to maybe talk about, like some ideas for Mother's Day. But then I started thinking, like, I'm not sure this is a good idea because you do have a cosmetic surgery center. And I don't know, like, what dad goes to his wife. Hey, Mom, can we help you look a little better? It's kind of like getting a vacuum cleaner for Mom's Day.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more that you do than Botox.
Well, the vacuum cleaner is actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But it doesn't fly very well.
Yeah.
No, we have a spa, too. So we have the SCS spa.
There we go.
So, Mother's Day, offering your wife a surgery for Mother's Day is probably not a smart decision.
How about some Botox?
How about a nose job, sweetheart?
Unless you want a black eye or something. But the other side, we have Michael, who's a fantastic masseuse. I mean, he can help your wife relax. I don't care what she's been through that day. He can help her relax, and he's very knowledgeable too. So you kind of get an education while you're getting a massage, which is good or bad. We also have two fantastic estheticians. They do facials. They do very relaxing kind of things. And they can also help with, skincare issues, all of that kind of stuff. And then we have Tanya, who can get your wife feeling better if that's something that she needs to do. That's also maybe a touchy subject, but you can at least talk to Tanya. She'll handle it a heck of a lot better than you will as a guy.
Well, we talk
a little
about
more tact there. Is that what you're saying?
Way better.
Here's a little inside tip for guys. So you've heard me talk about the sweat and the edge, which Jeff created for guys because he was mostly a practice for females. And, they want to look better. They want to feel better, all these things. And it's like, okay, well, what about guys? And so you've heard us talk about that on the show. But if you want to go get your wife something, like you can go to Sweatin'em Cosmetic. It's in Johnson, right off the bypass. You could go in there, get a gift card for your wife. So you can get products. You can get a massage. You can get pampered at the spa treatment. Yeah. But while you're in there, you could go get your own free evaluation for the Sweatin'em Edge, get your labs, figure out if you need anything.
Right.
And then you can kind of do two things at once if you want.
Well, guys, there's a slow decline, right? I mean, when you're 20 years old, you're bulletproof. And when you're 30, you're still a little bit bulletproof, but you get nicked and grazed here and there. When you're 40, a lot of times some guys can't get out of bed, have a hard time getting out of bed. You just think it's just the way it is. I got a lot of responsibilities, got a lot on my mind, all these things. Well, you don't have to feel like that. I mean, it's ridiculous to think that you have to feel like that. You can feel like you did when you're in your late 20s, early 30s, and you're not doing anything excessive. All you're doing is getting back to where you used to be as far as hormonal treatments and that kind of thing. So,
yeah, give me just a little bit more because I think there's a stigma. Or I know there is. Like guys think, well, I don't need a doctor. I don't want to do this. And by the way, what's it going to do to my body? And that sounds weird.
Yeah.
But like what you've helped me understand is like we'll take a multivitamin because we think we need that, and a lot of times we do. But it's very similar. Like what our body's producing or not producing. It's not like you're getting drugged up.
No, it's not like it. It's not like the old, Muscle Man movies. Arnold Schwarzenegger. see how jacked up you can get. That's not the thing. What we're using are bioidentical hormones, bioidentical replacement hormones, and what that means is that the chemicals that they're using are the same as the chemicals your body produces. So what happens over time is either the computer in your brain that's telling the end organ to produce those chemicals is either slowing down or the end organ is not responding to the chemical stimulation, which is usually the case. And so what happens then is those chemicals in your brain start getting really high, and they make you tired. They make you not sleep well. They make you do all these things because they're trying to whip the end organ to say, hey, we need more of this, we need more of that. And that's what happens in women too. That's why you wake up at 3 in and you can't go back to sleep. That's why at 3 in the afternoon you're worn out when you really haven't done a whole lot during the day. You know, that's why your skin starts sagging and your muscle mass starts going down and all these things. I mean, we're just a giant computer running on, chemicals, actually. Instead of electronic impulses, we're running on chemicals, and you're just low on that chemical.
Yeah. Well, that's been helpful to me. I mean, I don't drink nearly the same energy drinks I used to drink. Like, I had to have caffeine all the time. Now it's coffee in the morning, and that's pretty much it. Well, we're glad you came by. SweatingThemCosmetic.com is the website. Sweating Cosmetic Surgery Center and Spa. Not just surgery, but spa. You can get the treatment for Mom this Mother's Day. So go on to their website or stop by and pick up a gift card or whatever you want to do. And then if you're a guy and you feel like that, I mean, get checked out. I mean, there's nothing wrong with knowing where you are.
Well, that's a good Mother's Day present, too.
That's a fair point. Instead of laying around on the couch all weekend because you can't get off the couch because you're exhausted.
Right.
All right, so we've got just an example of
what's
what
in the bag?
Sweatin'em has. What's in the Sweatin'em bag over there for Bart?
Well, we've got some little cleansers, skin cleansers.
Yeah.
They're really nice.
We can all use that.
Yeah, and
I'll take that.
These are really good for fair-skinned people because you want to get all that grit and stuff off your face after going to these sporting events. And then this is something that I really like. But this is a Skin Better, Sun Better sunscreen, and it comes in a little tube. You put it on. It lasts really well, lasts all day. It doesn't have the chemicals in it. It's a physical sunscreen, so it doesn't have the chemicals that can absorb into your skin.
So for Summer of Bart.
Summer of Bart.
Right.
Bart
you
golfs.
don't want to be burned.
Keep Bart healthy.
Bart, you can go to the pool and the beach and golf down.
Hey, I'm a sunscreen everyday type of person.
You got healthy sunscreen there.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
You know?
Non-chemical.
Great.
Yeah, you don't have
Thank
to close your eyes and spray.
Well, thanks for coming by.
Well, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Nice to see you.
Appreciate
Thank
you
for
being a
here.
partner on the show.
Yeah.
Being a Razorback fan.
Yeah.
And Chuck, when you get healthy, you can go golf with Dr. Sweatin'.
I understand that if I want to lose my money, that's where I need to go, right there.
Well,
That's
he
the
doesn't
plan.
take it,
No,
but he could.
I got you.
He doesn't take it, but Chuck had shoulder surgery. I don't know. It's been 6 months ago,
Yeah, it's been a
7
while.
months ago.
I'm working my way back.
He's about ready to swing a club
Working my
again.
way back.
That's a tough one to get back from.
Oh, it is. It is. I mean, it's I can chip and putt. Maybe,
I can't.
well, I didn't say I could do it well. I'm just saying that's the only, that's the extent of it right now.
Dr. Sweatin', thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
And
Appreciate
just
y'all.
a reminder, Mother's Day Sunday.
That's
so
right.
do
Yeah.
something about it, and there's one idea right there.
Yeah.
I want Texas to lose. Yeah, I want them to rot in hell.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
All right, fellas, listen up. Mother's Day is coming fast, and if you're still thinking flowers and a card are gonna cut it, think again. You wanna know what your lady really wants? A little time to feel pampered, refreshed, and maybe a little bit more fabulous. That's why I'm sending you to the spa at Sweatin'em Cosmetic Surgery. We're talking Botox to smooth the lines, luxury facials that'll make her glow, and top-notch treatments to help her look and feel amazing. Trust me, this is the gift that she actually wants. So don't wait. Call ahead to Sweatin'em Cosmetic Surgery at 479-966-4174. That's 479-966-4174. Grab a gift card or book her appointment today. The spa at SES. Look good, feel even better. Again, call ahead at 479-966-4174 today and talk to our front desk coordinator who will make sure mom is feeling extra special this Mother's Day. Be the guy who gets it right.
There's simply not a better shopping experience than Macadoodles. Looking for the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits? Macadoodles or Guess Who in Bentonville has you covered. With an unbeatable selection, amazing prices, and service that's unbeatable, they've got everything you need. Whether you're stocking up for a party, updating your bar, or just grabbing your favorites, Roger and the team are always there to help. Make the smart choice. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista at the state line, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
There's nothing like a college football Saturday, a few beers, your phone, and Twitter.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
So it's been a good offensive year. So I don't have to pump up Coach Thompson any more than I did last time. He's a good hitting coach. So get off his back, all right? Anyway.
I was just thinking this morning on the drive in, boy, it's going to be nice to see Chuck. And I don't usually think that.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I think every day. Man, I get to go in and see Bo, Edward, Bart. Can't wait to get up and get in there. I think that every day. By the way,
it is a great feeling walking into the studio. We do get to do something we enjoy. For real.
In all seriousness, there are lots of mornings I wake up and think, man, it's awfully early. And then I get in here. And you guys are the ones that, I get my energy, and I think you probably would say the same thing about everybody else in 100%. Here, Bart and Edward. I mean, that's just kind of the deal. We all get in here and get our thing going.
We enjoy it.
Suddenly, all is right with
I can't speak for Edward and Bart.
Well, I think I can.
Edward's got a little one at home. Edward doesn't sleep much. No. But eventually he'll feel like we do.
Who needs it?
Yeah. Edward's young. It doesn't matter. He doesn't need any sleep.
Maybe I should go
right
talk
now.
to Dr. Swetnam.
He probably could.
Got anything for
You're gonna feel old.
Bart's already broken out that sunscreen. He's already putting it all over his face and
just
got a lather going.
Yeah.
You got those.
Yeah. That would have been a great bit to come back from break and just be covered in sunscreen.
Covered in sunscreen.
Hey, I've got that sunscreen. I mean, it's good stuff. Yep. It's a stick. Like it comes out of that thing. It's a stick, and you just rub it all over your face. I mean, it's legit. And it feels like you're not putting all that oily stuff all over you. But for Bart, like I feel, I never know what to. Like I've wanted to invite Bart on vacation to the beach. But then I just feel like that'd be irresponsible of me.
Hey, look.
Hey,
I'll
I'm the
be
same way.
I'll be honest. The beach is a tough scene usually. Like I'm applying sunscreen every hour.
Bart's
and
got
still
the
getting
sombrero.
Burned. It's a tough. I love it, but it's a tough scene.
He's got the sombrero on and he's a margarita.
Hey,
and it's
I'm
like
the same
there's
way.
no sun getting near me. He's got
I'm
a
the same
tent.
way.
Yeah.
I'm underneath that umbrella.
Yeah. There's some value in that.
I'm under the umbrella with a beverage.
It's tough.
Hey, so
which still isn't bad.
I love it.
Doesn't
I love
suck.
the beach.
It doesn't
I love
suck.
the beach. I'll take one for the team gladly.
By the way, Arkansas is ranked number 1 in the Collegiate Baseball Writers Association poll. And they're ranked number 2 in the coaches poll.
There are too many
There
polls.
are so many polls.
Too many polls.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
We should.
Top 25 college baseball poll.
We should
has
have
Arkansas
our
at number 1.
Own poll for every sport.
we can start 2 polls. One can be how much Boogie Fland's going to get, and the other is the baseball poll.
We could push this and see if maybe we could get it mentioned on some sort of national show. That could be our small victory.
That went viral.
It did go
the
viral.
Boogie Fland, but not for a good reason. It's that guy didn't know what he's talking about. He's an idiot.
Jeff Goodman's tweet alone has 400,000 views.
Wow.
Am I wearing a Flight by Yingling shirt in that?
Yeah. Has he got a sponsor
Is the
on?
Flight bottle in there?
Yeah.
Next generation.
Did
of
we
light
mention
beer?
our
Did we help-
sponsors prominently?
Did we help our advertising partners out at all while I fell on the sword?
So you are wearing the Flight shirt.
Yes.
And that
That's
was also
big.
the first clip that we've put out with our newest premium sponsor, Oaklawn.
Oh, that's right.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So that was the first
Yeah.
exposure.
How about that? Yeah.
Take that, Jeff.
Everybody
Goodman.
wins.
Jeff Goodman doing our work for us.
Doing the work for us. Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. Hey, by the way, Van Horn yesterday, talking at the Swatters Club, another opportunity to pat Nate Thompson on the back.
So it's been a good offensive year. So I don't have to pump up Coach Thompson any more than I did last time. He's a good hitting coach. So get off his back, all right?
So take that. Take that.
Hey, they're 8th in the country in scoring. And here's one that got me. I saw this at WholeHogSports.com today. Matt Jones compiled an article really with some stats about why Arkansas is in a good position to be one of the top 8 seeds. Like, we can talk about the polls all we want, but what really matters is Arkansas going to be one of the top 8 seeds when the field is selected, meaning if they win their regional, they host the super regional. So you could play at home all the way to the College World Series. But in his article, he gave some stats. Like Arkansas is the only 40-win team. They're 17-7 in the league. They're a quad 1 record. It is 11-5. They're 5th in the RPI, 19th in the strength of schedule, but scoring. They're 8th in the country in scoring. In the toughest pitching league in the country, they're 8th overall in scoring, and they're 11th, Chuck, top 11 in the country. This one surprised me, in earned run average. So while we've talked about how the starting pitching has struggled at times, even in those games where it has, Arkansas has not given up a pile of runs. Our filter, our lens, and how we judge this team, I don't know if we realize how hard we are on them. But because that's the expectation they've created. I mean, one of the amazing things about what Van Horn has done here is the expectation that he's created for this program.
Let me go back before we head there and talk about what you were discussing there with the offense and the hitting and the scoring of runs. That's why they swept the series. They gave up 8 runs on Sunday. Lots of baseball games, you give up 8 runs, you lose. Now, pitching will win you the series, but you got to be able to hit to sweep a series in college baseball. Go back and look at this Texas series in a microcosm. I mean, it's a small sample size, but this is what championship teams do. They beat you with their starter on Friday. They beat you with their bullpen on Saturday, and they beat you with their bats on Sunday. And that's what they did. If this is not a great offensive team, they take 2 of 3. Good weekend, but not as good as it could have been. Scoring those 13 runs is why you go 3-0 over the weekend. The offense, go back and look at the teams that win it. I mean, the teams that win it. They're good in all areas. There's not a deficiency. They pitch, they hit, they field. They're good in all of those areas. You're not going to win a national championship being deficient in one of those areas. You can be great in two, but if you're not really good in three, you're not going to win at all.
Third in the country in fielding percentage.
That's
and
right.
to your point about the lineup, they're number one in the country, Chuck, in run differential.
Yeah.
That's how, like, that lineup they beat teams by several runs. When they lose a game, it's like they've got the tying runs on base, and you've got to still get them out. Five and a half run differential.
That's pretty massive in baseball. That is massive in baseball.
Lot.
That would be akin in football to, at the end of the season, you've outscored your opponents 42-7 or 42-10. Conference foes included. I mean, 5.5 run differential in baseball on average is massive.
I don't mind people having the Omaha expectation and it feels like Omaha or bust every year. I get that. But can we do that when you get to the postseason? Can we just wait till postseason's here and that's how it feels? Because if you can't enjoy, like if you're a fan and it's that time of year and you're watching baseball, if you can't enjoy this, I don't know what you would otherwise want. Because this team is exciting. Every time you turn the game on or you go to the game, it is a fun watch.
They give us great moments, like this weekend, like Saturday, sweeping Texas. They give us great moments, and that's what we live for, moment to moment.
Those home runs on Saturday. I mean, one moment after another.
Oh, it was, and that's what makes it fun. We sometimes at the ends of seasons, not just baseball, but all of them. Boy, if you don't win the championship, you forget about all those moments during the season. Football. Rush the field against Tennessee. Great night. You know, sometimes those memories get lost when you don't achieve what you think in your mind your program should achieve. Baseball gives us great moments every spring. Every single one of them. I did think it's, when coaches and players say we don't pay attention to what people say, they're paying attention to what people say.
Everybody
you can hear it in Dave's voice, and that's okay because sometimes that's your fuel, and that's fine.
By the way, Parker Coyle, they've got a bunch of injuries.
Yeah, they got some guys hurt.
Logan Maxwell, they're hoping to get him back.
They're awful deep, though, aren't
over
they?
the next. They just keep bringing out other players, other pitchers. But DVH gave an update on pitcher Parker Coyle yesterday as well.
And then Parker Coyle, you might see him pitching this weekend coming up. So that'll be good, especially if he can pick up where he left off. We are throwing him, he's going to throw a light bullpen tomorrow or Wednesday. We call light, that'll be like 15 to 20 pitches, and have him ready for the weekend. And we feel like he's good to go, pain-free and healed up, and we'll go from there.
Well, one more thing while we're into the weeds on this baseball segment, which no apology for that. Van Horn talked about the makeup of this team.
If you have a player-led team, they can be dangerous if they're talented. And I talked to our guys about that, and I do believe that we have a player-led team. What I mean by that is I don't have to take care of all the little things that are going on in the locker room that they know that I don't know about. And because it's just, you guys do know that we're coaching teenage boys, right? So it's good to know that these guys show up and they get after it.
It's crazy to watch these guys play baseball and then go interview them. And you're like, that's a teenage boy. Does not look like a teenage boy.
Hey, his point
watching
about
him play baseball.
His point about player-led teams, that's huge. That is really huge. Isn't it amazing when I hear Dave talk about player-led teams and he generally minimizes his effect? He's our most popular coach. I mean, he really is. Particularly if you go to Fayetteville proper, Northwest Arkansas, Dave by a landslide over all of them. Cal, Pittman, the whole bunch. They know it too. But he's also the one that he's not seeking the limelight. He wants a player-led team. He'll put on a show at the Swatters Club, but most of the time he's very understated. But he's the one our people love the most.
Well, all the way down to letting his coaches coach. Like Nate Thompson's got a bigger role this year maybe that he's ever had. And you can see it in the dugout. I think he's calling some of the game, if not a lot of the offense. When they're going to run, when they're going to hit and run, all of those things. Matt Hobbs, complete control over the pitching staff. This baseball program is, can we say that Arkansas's got the best baseball program in the country?
I wouldn't trade him for anybody.
I'm talking year to year. And don't come at me with, they haven't won a national championship yet. Like every year, they're right there, and they've built. And by the way, I think they just keep getting better. And that's why I think a championship is coming.
I heard somebody say years ago the difference, there's a difference between coaching a team and running a program. I've repeated that many times over the course of my life. Every time I say it, I think of Dave Van Horn.
It's 7:32, the Chuck and Bo Show. 877-377-6963 if you want to get in here. We're brought to you in part by the Fayetteville Auto Park, the #1 volume dealer in Northwest Arkansas. We talk about Chevy all the time. Bart's in the Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room. But they've got a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles, and they've got Acura, Chevy, Honda, Toyota. If you're looking for something new, whatever you're looking for, they've got it in a great service department, award-winning service and collision departments. 25 years. The Fayetteville Auto Park's been right there because of who they are, what they're about, and taking care of customers. 7:33, good morning. I want to see you and Bart in the old three-legged race.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Let me just...
The Chuck and Bo Show.
If you haven't tried a flight by Yuengling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yuengling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yuengling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
When is the last time you thought, the SEC's making an announcement today, and it's going to be good for the Hogs?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
one of the great non-marriage times of my life, I'll tell you that. To meet Chuck Berry, the only thing that's even close to is meeting both.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, 877-377-6963. Lane is on the line in Cave City. Lane, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, Lane.
Yes, how are y'all?
Good morning. Doing great.
Well, so Bo said something a little while ago that kind of made me think. So I listen to the games 99% of the time, even when they're on Cave City, because I enjoy listening to Phil and Bubba when they're at home. And same way with basketball and football. I'd rather listen to you, Chuck, than watch it. And but anyhow, y'all said that Nate Thompson and Matt Hobbs have been, things like calling more of the games. Now, I'm not trying to start a rumor or assumption because there ain't been nothing like or hinted at this, but do you think Dave is trying to pick his successor down the road? Because, listen, I ain't saying it's next year or the next 5 years. It could be 10 years. But we are probably starting to get to that time. And do you think that's something that's on his mind?
I think.
Thank you, Lane.
I think Dave Van Horn is a leader. I think what I mean by that is he's not, in my opinion, he's not necessarily thinking about that. I think what he's doing is he's making everybody around him better. He's giving people opportunity. They're taking advantage of the opportunity, and he's managing the whole process. But in my opinion, and I haven't talked to DVH about this, but in my opinion, he's not anywhere close to thinking about
I don't,
what's next.
No.
He is like as into this as he has ever been, and I think he continues to grow and loves it.
Talk to the coaches who've coached for him. Go to Knoxville, Tennessee. Ask Tony Vitello the difference in being an assistant for Dave Van Horn and the difference in being an assistant for Jim Schlossnagle. He was Schlossnagle's top assistant at TCU before he came to Arkansas. He'll tell you. I've heard him say it. And there are others out there who will too, that if you're going to be a head coach, you can't – it doesn't serve you well to work for a guy who is a control freak, who controls everything, who has to be the one to make the call on everything. I've seen coaches in lots of sports over the years, great head coach, but when he's done, you don't see his assistant showing up anywhere because it was the head coach's team, and that was it. If you're a young coach and you want to be a head coach, you need to work for a guy that lets you coach, and that's what he does. And both these guys, Hobbs and Thompson, they're going to be head coaches. Just a question of when and where. But I don't think it's going to be here inside the next 5, 7, 8 years. Dave's in good shape. I mean, he's not 65 yet. I could see him doing it till he's 70. Augie was damn near 80 by the time he quit. I mean, I could see Dave doing that. I mean, I really could.
One thing about Dave, what you see is what you get all the time. He's so authentic. And that's one of the reasons I think players love playing for him and coaches love coaching for him.
It's the consistency.
You get the
right?
same thing every day.
It's
that's
the consistency
right. That's exactly
and
right.
that's what makes we're talking about, is this one of the best baseball programs in the country, the best baseball program in the country? The reason it's in that conversation is because of that consistency, because you get the same thing year after year, game after game, day after day from the head coach on down. And that matters a great deal. You want to talk about what made Alabama so great? You always heard Nick Saban talk about the process.
Kirby Smart.
That's what it was.
I'm telling you
that
guys,
consistency,
I've said it so many times that I don't know if people like it or not. But I spent 30 days in Tuscaloosa doing training days with Saban. I saw everything for 30 days. I put a microphone on him every single day. Sat outside his office, would wait for him to come out, put the mic on in 7 seconds. We already had the wire in his vest. He came out with the vest on, the wire's hanging down. I take the mic pack, wrap it around, put it right where he wants it on his belt, and away he goes.
It up.
So I watched him come in and leave it. Like I could see him in his office kind of getting ready. same thing every day. And I left there thinking to myself, this Alabama program is just perfectly built for success because if you come here and fail, you wanted to fail. They're going to do everything they can to keep you from failing. They're going to help you with school. They're going to help you get to all the places you need to go. They're going to, all the meal, everything is set up for you to come there and better your craft. And that's why you went to Alabama to play football under him, because you wanted to better your craft and you wanted to be a professional. That's what Arkansas baseball is. The exact same thing. I mean, they're not exactly the same personality. But when you walk into that building, everything is set up for you as a player to be successful. And then he's kind of a player's coach. And when you say that, you think that means somebody's lacking in discipline. That's not what it means. It means that they understand the players and what they need to be successful and how to deal with them.
And each sport's different. You know, you can't be a football coach with a baseball team. You can't get in the locker room and give this fiery speech 75 times a year. I mean, it doesn't work.
He told me one time that every time, Dave Van Horn, that every time he gives a speech,
they get beat?
He said, I don't understand people that prepare for a speech and they say all these certain things. Or I picked it up from somewhere along the way and now I want to relay it to somebody else. I just talk from my heart when I talk to the team. And you can see that, one of the best things that's happened over the last 2 or 3 years is we didn't get this before, but Van Horn's speeches to the team have only been on camera and seen like the last 2 or 3 years. And I love watching those. It's like he recaps the whole series.
I know.
Where the game, you got one? You have one of them?
This is what he said before Game 3 against Texas. I love this from DVH.
Don't let these suckers that burn orange have more energy than us, all right? Let's have some fun out here in front of this big target.
It's awesome. It's kind of hard to hear, but
you think the kids don't love that? You can see all that stuff on Hogs Plus.
It.
You think the players don't like that?
They love it.
They love it. Absolutely. Hey, let me tell you about Cadell Reynolds. If you're dealing with personal injury, struggling to get Social Security disability, or drowning in debt, you can call the team that'll fight for Arkansans. Bill Reynolds and the attorneys at Cadell Reynolds know how to get results when it matters most. From car wrecks to denied disability claims to filing for bankruptcy, they've got your back. You don't have to face it alone. Call Cadell Reynolds at 866-314-3728, or you can visit CadellReynolds.com for a free consultation. Cadell Reynolds, make the right call. We got a big show left. We got Bubba
Carpenter's coming up. Courtney Deifel's coming up.
Almost called him Bubba Cunningham again. North Carolina AD to tell us all about Bill and his girlfriend.
Yeah, we need to have him on.
Bubba Carpenter might have some thoughts on that, too.
That's a great idea.
He might.
And Courtney Deifel coming up at 8:30. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. We're just kind of wading through it, figuring it out with you this morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
I'm Dr. Scotty Bolding, a native Arkansan oral and maxillofacial surgeon. One of my goals is to make Arkansans healthier.
If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies.
Sleep is probably God's gift of medicine that we really don't utilize enough. If you have obstructive sleep apnea, it needs to be treated. So you need to be wearing your CPAP. So if you're not wearing your CPAP, there are some potential surgical solutions that can help you that actually work today. By correcting the jaw deformities that may be causing this obstructive sleep apnea is where we focus.
Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better.
Hey, give us a call, 479-755-3000, or log on to our website, precedent.com, PRECIDENT. We'd love to help.
Hey, it's moms, dads, and grad season at Splash Car Wash, and they're running a special offer just for listeners of the Chuck and Bo Show. Right now, buy one Best Car Wash and get 2 free. One for mom, one for dad, one for your favorite grad, or just keep one for yourself. We won't tell, because we know how good it feels to drive a clean car. Triple the shine with 3 car washes for only $27. Text Splash Arkansas to 22322 for the link to access this exclusive online offer.
Hey, it's Bo Mattingly, and McDonald Eye Associates is my one-stop for any vision need. The progressives they have me in are a game changer, and my new sunglasses are going to be great for baseball season. McDonald Eye was the first practice in the state to perform LASIK, and they have the most experience. They also have the new vision correction options for all ages, including cataract and clear lens replacement to see your best from all distances. For your best vision, McDonald Eye is the place to go.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
Yeah, does Chuck sleep that much? Because it just sometimes...
He's old, so when you get old, you don't really sleep as much.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
A lot of times critics don't know what the hell they're talking about, and I don't think they know much what they're talking about on this one either.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Spring is here. Summer's right around the corner. You want to make sure that AC is working properly. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric is the answer. We're at the time of year where, you might have the AC on for a while. If it's a cool morning, you might flip the heat on for a minute. You want to make sure everything's working exactly as it's supposed to be working. And that's one of the things that Pascal always does. And if you're shopping around for a new system, don't forget to use Pascal's price check button and let you compare other companies' quotes with Pascal's pricing. Because if it sounds too good to be true, it generally is. Hidden fees, lower quality products, you don't want that. So check them out. I think you'll find that when we recommend them, you'll see exactly why we do that. Log on to gopascal.com.
Yeah, trustworthy professionals. You know you're getting the job done right. 877-377-6963. I saw this story today that SMU has raised in a capital campaign $1.64 billion. SMU, the university.
That's for the university.
67,500 people donated to a $1.64 billion capital campaign. Spent a little time there during the college football playoff run SMU had for Inside the College Football Playoff. That's on Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and saw the new facility, the new football facility. I mean, they're making waves. Damon Evans, who was a former Georgia AD, had a fall from grace, rebuilt his career, was most recently at Maryland, thought of as a quality AD in college athletics, just left recently Maryland for SMU. Texas, their president, the University of Texas school president, left Texas for SMU. What is happening at SMU?
You ever driven through Highland Park? It's a lot of nice homes. Yeah. There's a lot of money.
I mean, they feel like a sleeping giant.
And part of it, too, is the fact they've moved to the ACC. Yep. And as we saw last year, there is a path to the playoff through the ACC. Now, despite what they may tell you, and regardless of how much money they make, they're not going to win the national championship in all probability. But there is a path to the playoff for them. And that's got him excited.
You think Chad Morris regrets leaving SMU for Arkansas? Chew on that. Just chew on that. Just think about it for a second. There's no answer.
Oh, there is no good answer.
There's no answer. We just that little food for thought.
There's not even a fun, smart aleck retort to that. There's nothing you can say.
You wouldn't still be at SMU. I can tell you that.
It would have ended somewhere down the road.
He put the hammer down, got in the left lane, came to Fayetteville. Whoops.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, if you're struggling to get your Social Security disability, or you're buried in debt thinking about bankruptcy, don't wait. You need a legal team that knows how to fight for Arkansans.
That's why you can trust Cadell Reynolds. Bill Reynolds and his team know how to get results when it matters most. Whether it's personal injury, disability, or bankruptcy, they've got the experience and they've got your back.
So don't go it alone. Make the right call. Dial 866-314-3728 or visit CadellReynolds.com today.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
The doors are open, and it's a new era of elegance. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry has unveiled its stunningly redesigned 8,500 square foot showroom for an unmatched luxury experience. There's breathtaking jewelry, of course, expert service, and private viewing rooms designed for comfort. And they've got an in-house cafe with handcrafted coffee to go along with a special coffee table book celebrating Arkansas's heritage. Because it's more than jewelry, it's your story at Blakeman's Fine Jewelry.
Hey, you can beat inflation and upgrade your ride at Chevy of Fayetteville. Right now, drive home a brand new Chevy Silverado, Blazer, Equinox EV, or the Tough 2500 with rates as low as 1.9% APR. Plus, take advantage of huge discounts and get top dollar for your trade-in. Go see Chris, Mark, and Denver at Chevy of Fayetteville, where the deals are big and the road ahead is even better. Chevy of Fayetteville. Let's drive.
Why don't you just kind of style it up a little bit at the game? Let's get your drip going.
Hey, I got a lot more drip than you think.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
We have ongoing receipts of you not listening, which is good because if you were listening all the time, I don't know that this would last. This relationship would not last. If you hung on to every word, I don't know that you would still be here.
All right. I don't know how I should feel about that. If you knew, that's like if you knew how bad he hated you would never.
I'm talking about you putting up with me.
Oh, I thought you were talking about.
If you listened to everything
you putting
I said,
up with me.
I don't think you'd still be here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "Let's turn on the Chuck and Bo Show."
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Thank God we won the series after the month we've had, right? It wouldn't have been very fun up here today.
Dave Van Horn, he feels it at the Swatters Club.
Hey, I can remember many trips. You know, you play on Sunday, and, man, you sure want to win on the Sunday game before the Swatters Club the following day. No matter what happens, you want to win that game.
Congratulations to Zach Root.
Yeah.
What an opening performance on Thursday's SEC Pitcher of the Week. Threw a career-long 8 scoreless innings, 11 strikeouts was a career high, gave up 2 hits, pair of walks, helped Arkansas get off to a great start.
Set the tone.
Here to talk about it is Bubba Carpenter, Arkansas baseball analyst, former Razorback, former big leaguer. Bubba, good to have you on the show, man. Good morning.
Good morning, fellas. How we doing?
Bubba, you're from the generation that hates Texas with all you got. What was that like for you? What was that like for you over the weekend?
I'll tell you what, Chuck, when I woke up Thursday morning, my neck was a little swollen up. I'm not going to lie to you. It was kind of like opening day of deer season. It was different. It's, you know, and you show up to the ballpark, and there was just a different buzz around the stadium. But, you know, I was glad. You know, the thing is you got to, this generation of players right now, they didn't really care. They just knew they were playing the number one team in the nation. And they were fired up for it. I think by the end of the series, they were starting to hate Texas like everybody else. But, you know, I was joking with Phil on the air about, you know, raising your kids the right way. I saw a lot of young kids in the stands giving Texas thumbs, horns down. And so that kind of pumps me up. That means we got a chance. So I think parents are raising their kids the right way.
Country's going to be okay.
Hey, I saw at least one Texas fan get escorted out by an usher down there in the left field corner. They didn't like that on Sunday or Saturday when Arkansas kept answering the bell. That was a back and forth. That was an extravaganza, Bubba, on Saturday. That was fun.
Oh, it was fun. I mean, you know, this series had a little bit of everything. If you like pitching, you got to see really good pitching on Thursday. If you like offense, you got to see it on Saturday. And what I like about this team, so we kind of beat Texas at their own game. You know, they've been pitching dominant all year, and they don't really hit that well. And if you look at the games they've won a lot of, like, one-run games, really close games. Everything's gone their way. But they roll into Fayetteville, nothing went their way. I mean, from Thursday night on, Zach Root dominated them for 8 innings. By the way, Phil told me a stat at the end of the game. He's the first pitcher since 2023 to complete 8 innings, which is crazy to think. We had Hagen Smith last year. He never completed 8 innings. So it's kind of crazy. That's how dominant Zach was. But it was a lot of fun. But I feel like from the second inning Thursday when Carson Bowles hit the 2-run home run, I felt like from then on, the Longhorns were on their heels. They just didn't have an answer for us. And, man, it was a lot of fun to see.
Bubba, I'm curious your analysis and view of where the team is. They've gone through some adversity. They've bounced back in a huge way. Adversity meaning they lost 3 straight series. They've had injuries. Their starting pitching hasn't been maybe until Thursday and this weekend what they thought that it was going to be. So where do we find them today with 2 series left in the regular season at LSU and then Tennessee coming to Fayetteville?
I tell you, Bo, I love the direction we're going. And look, I said when Texas came to town, I felt like we matched up really well against them. I thought we'd win the series. I even thought we had a really good chance of sweeping them, just because of the dynamics of this team. And everyone's into panic because we lost the series at Georgia, we lost Florida, we lost A&M. But if you go back and look at those games, one pitch, one swing here, one play on defense could have changed those series, and we could have easily won this series or even swept the series against all three of those teams. I mean, we were right there, and that's with all the injuries we've had with the pitching staff and everything. I feel like right now we're coming together at the right time. Like we always talk about peaking too soon. This team hasn't even peaked yet. I mean, we've been battling injuries all year, but it's the depth of the team, and it's really honestly just the makeup of the team. And I don't know, last time you and I talked, Bo, I told you early on I was in on this team. And early in the spring scrimmages, I was in on this team 100%. There's a different feel around this team. When I go down at the end of the game to do an interview or when I'm out there for BP, this team, they get along great. And there's an energy there. You've got a lot of, good personalities. But more importantly, these guys love playing the game. They really do. And you can look at all the analytics and all the crap that's out there. One thing that doesn't tell you is, do you love playing baseball? I look at Heston Kjerstad when he was here. Obviously analytically he's really good, but that kid loves playing baseball. Hagen Smith loves pitching. And if you take this team, they love each other and they love playing the game of baseball. And I'm telling you, that's what gets me really excited, because this team could play for a long time.
Bubba, so many, and rightly so, talking about the offense, the run differential, the hitting, which a lot of times is what carries you, when the weather gets warm. One thing I've noticed about this team is they are tough to strike out. There really are 9 tough outs in this lineup, and you kind of pick your poison, it seems, sometimes when you decide who you're going to pitch to.
Yeah, you're right, Chuck, and that's what makes this team so tough. The length of the lineup. I mean, think about it. You got Justin Thomas in the 9-hole. He can hit the ball as far as anybody. He puts the ball in play, finds a way to get on base, whether it's a walk, hit, whatever, a home run if you need it. It's just the depth of this lineup, and you can't really pitch around anybody because the next guy can really bite you. And that's the thing we haven't had in the past. I don't want to disparage any teams we've had in the past, but we haven't had a team with this much depth in a long time, this much length. And they're fun to watch. And I hate strikeouts. I can't stand strikeouts. You get a runner at second and third, 1 out, and we strike out and then pop up inning over, we don't score. This team finds a way to get the run in. I used an example a lot of guys like Iredell. Runner at third base, 1 out. He'll just hit a ground ball to the right side and get that run in. I mean, it's a lot of unselfish at-bats. And I think for a lineup to be productive, you've got to have unselfish players. And these guys are all about the team. It's about the name on the front of the jersey, not the name on the back. And it's hard to find that these days. You could watch Texas play. You could tell they had a lot of selfish players. They were worried about themselves. The center fielder was having a bad weekend, so he made some mistakes on the bases. He forgot how many outs there were. He didn't hustle into second on a force play that he should have beat. The catcher, the same thing. He got mad. He popped out and threw his bat over in front of the Razorback dugout. Just kind of being, honestly, I guess you can call it just being a turd, just not really respecting the game of baseball. But these guys play the game together, and I know that's a long-winded answer, Chuck. But I love these guys, and I love the makeup of this lineup. And when someone goes down, look at Reese Robinette. How awesome was it to see a guy like Reese Robinette? Could have transferred to a lot of programs around the country. He stayed. He stayed here, works hard every day, got a chance to play, hit 2 bombs, had 6 RBIs. I mean, that's just that says a lot about a Dave Van Horn team. They take on his personality every year, and this team's really taking on his personality.
Hey, I want to ask you about that. Bubba Carpenter with us, Razorback analyst, former Razorback, and a big leaguer. I was going to ask you, why doesn't that ever happen with Arkansas players? I don't see Arkansas players act like that. And I know how you feel about Ole Miss and the antics and some other teams and Texas doing the things like that. What is it about a Dave Van Horn team that the way they play the game, who he is, you don't see Arkansas players pouting and doing those sorts of things?
No, you don't. And it starts with the people that they recruit. They do a great job. I mean, you think of, Matt Hobbs, Nate Thompson, Bobby Werniss. They go out and they get the right guys. Now, there's good baseball players all over the country, but it's getting the right player to fit into the Razorback mold. I think that's the important thing. And once they get here, they learn how to play baseball the right way. It's kind of the culture that DVH has created here. That's why you don't see guys do that. He doesn't allow that. You watch a guy pop up. We don't jog to first base. When that ball hits the ground, we're rounding first, heading to second. I mean, just the way you play the game, and good baseball beats bad baseball, and we play the game the right way. And I'll tell you what, the best thing I heard DVH say all day was at the end of the series, he's talking to the team, and I'm going to read his quote. I don't want to mess up his quote. He told the team, he said, "This isn't the best thing we're going to do this year." And I love that because that says there's a lot more down the road for this team. I mean, yeah, we swept Texas, and we didn't just sweep them. We beat down on them for 3 days. I mean, we mopped the floor with them, and it felt really good. But this is just the start for this team. I think there's a lot of baseball left, and I think DVH's staff and the players understand that.
By the way, I know you're excited that Texas is still ranked ahead of Arkansas. I saw
What's up with that,
with
man?
Steve Sullivan. By the way, how many shows do you do? I mean, you're on the Daily. You're on Matt Jones' podcast. You're on with Steve Sullivan. I mean, you're
everywhere.
You're everywhere. I mean, you are. We thought it was the summer of Bart. It's the summer of Bubba and the baseball team.
I want to be Bubba's agent.
Hey,
I want to be Bubba's talent agent.
I'm in.
I'm just trying to keep up with Chuck, to be honest
that's
with
true.
you. No. Hey, Bo, I'm just glad you got my name right this time.
Yeah. I tried to mess it up. Bubba Cunningham, North Carolina AD with us now.
funny.
How do you feel about your head coach and his girlfriend?
Hey, what do you think about Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson, Bubba?
Bo Barrett. Hey, it's great talking to you. No,
There you go. I love it.
Hey, that sounds kind of good. But, no, you tell me what, guys, I'm lucky. I get to talk about Razorback baseball. I love the program. I love DVH's staff. I love these players. I mean, these guys are a lot of fun to be around. So any chance I get to talk about them, I really enjoy it. And I wish people understood the big picture. People don't understand how hard it is to get to Omaha. And I'm going to vent for just a second, Chuck. So bear with me.
Do it.
Last year, at the end of the year, I'm going out and I'm playing showcase tournaments with my older team, and people are coming up to me left and right. Oh, another bad year for the Razorbacks. Oh, they choked again. No, they didn't choke. They won the SEC title. They won the SEC West 5 out of 6 years. And people say, I hear people say, oh, we're not a blue blood program. We are the definition of a blue blood program. We haven't won a national championship, but who cares? I wouldn't trade what we have right now for a national championship. Look at Mississippi State. Are they a blue blood program? They won a national championship, but then now look where they're in the gutter right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I wouldn't trade anything that we have right now. I love our coaches, our players, our fans. We have the best fans. One of the highlights of the weekend, fellas, was when they were announcing the 85 team. And by the way, I think it was awesome the way DVH included the 85 team into this, one of his pregame talks. But when they announced Norm DeBryan on the field when they were honoring the 85 team, how about the standing ovation that he got? I thought it was awesome. That gave me chills when I saw that. Now, it was fun beating down on Texas, but it was awesome seeing Coach D get recognized. And the ball marker fans knew it. They stood up and gave him a standing ovation. I thought it was awesome.
I mean, we sound like I sound like probably just a big fanboy of Arkansas baseball today. I don't care. I mean, like I interviewed Norm DeBryan. It was the second Hog Pod we ever did, and I've said this before. When he came here, he was a driver's ed teacher. They didn't have a facility. They had practice on the fairgrounds. To get kicked off the fairgrounds when the band showed up to practice. You now have, and somebody can tell me if they think I'm wrong. You now have the best baseball program in the country. Just think about that. You didn't even have a field when Norm DeBryan got here. You have the best baseball program in the country, season to season.
Hey, Bubba, let me ask you this before we let you go. Before we let you go.
What you got?
You mentioned something there about the fans recognized it. You've been around here a long time. You played back in the 80s. You've seen the evolution of Razorback basketball or Razorback baseball. I think the evolution of the Razorback baseball fan has been remarkable to watch. I'm not sure 20, 30 years ago this was the most baseball-educated fan base. In fact, I'm sure they weren't. But I'm not so sure right now they're not as knowledgeable as any fan base out there.
Oh, I don't think it's close, Chuck. I think they understand the game. They understand the history of Razorback baseball. And they just understand the little intricacies of the game. Like when the game's going on, they know when to appreciate a guy for moving a runner over. Just little things. They get the game. They get the history of the game, and they showed it. They showed it on Saturday when they were honoring Norm DeBryan and that staff. I just thought it was awesome because a lot of people talk about Razorback baseball. The '79 team, I didn't know a whole lot about them. I know they had a really good year, good group of guys. This '85 team with Jeff King and all those guys, they're a big reason we're where we're at right now in Razorback baseball. Now, a lot of people go back to the Brady Toops home run. Huge moment. It did change Razorback baseball. But without the 85 team, I don't think a lot of this stuff happens. Now, I was here in '89. We had a really good team. I don't know, we won, I think, 51 games, went to the College World Series. But I think that '85 group was the first really good group. I mean, those guys were studs. I mean, from top to bottom. And I think it started there, and it's just gotten a little bit better every year. But, I mean, the program, you said it, Bo. There's not a better program in the country when it comes to baseball. And you mentioned the polls. Who in the hell votes on these polls? How is Texas ahead of us? We just mopped the floor with them for 3 days. How are they ahead of us? I get it. Maybe we're not the number one team. Maybe we shouldn't be ranked number one, but how are they ahead of us? If someone can explain that to me, I'll sleep a whole lot better tonight.
Just leave them there. It's a house of cards. It's coming down. Bubba, great stuff, man. Thanks for hopping on with us.
Thank you, Bubba.
Hey, thanks for having me on, fellas. I appreciate it. Go Hogs.
Talk soon. Bubba Carpenter, Arkansas baseball analyst. We're just a few minutes away from Courtney Deifel, who has her team ranked number one in the country and has basically done the same thing.
We can we can have the same conversation with Courtney.
I mean, what a time to be alive. You guys are part of my family. Everyone that listens to this show is just part of the Chuck and Bo family. We're building a community here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
If you're having issues with your gutters or drainage around the house, you need to call Hog Trough Gutters. They're locally owned and operated with over 30 years of experience. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drains. Plus, they're fully licensed and insured, and every job comes with a 20-year guarantee. Hog Trough Gutters services all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Log on to their website, hoggutters.com, to find out more. That's hog, GUTTERS.com.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life, too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeickerGriffin.com.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit gopascal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Pascal Price Check. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
You know, I want Texas to lose. Yeah, I want them to rot in hell.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
On my bucket list is to be around a campfire with Chuck when he's got a couple in him, and I want to hear the stories.
I know anything I would say would be fodder for this show,
Absolutely.
and I would be made fun of.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Courtney Deifel is going to join us in a few minutes. She was on Sirius XM College Sports Radio yesterday.
It hits me every once in a while. Like, it hits me about maybe once or twice a year, and it's out of nowhere. And I'll be walking out maybe to the dugout before the game, and you'll see a full berm, and you'll hear just the atmosphere. You can hear it even before you see it, and it'll just like hit me, and it'll be like, man, this place is really special. And we knew that it would be that if we built it to a product that they were proud of, because we have incredible fans.
In the history of Razorback softball, there were only 3 winning seasons in SEC play ever. Courtney Deifel has 5 in a row. She's the 2-time SEC Coach of the Year. She's won 2 SEC titles, 1 SEC tournament title, and the softball team for the first time ever is ranked number 1 in the country.
And when she walks out of the dugout 30 minutes before the game starts, the crowd begins to cheer. And that's when I can recall that happening with Dave Van Horn early in his tenure here. He'd just walk out of the dugout. The crowd would start cheering. I see the same thing going on with Courtney right now. And deservedly so. I mean, deservedly so. And, you know, I said this a couple of years ago when they were doing well, and we were kind of introduced to her and the program, and it wasn't just the rest of the country. It was the people inside the state, myself included. And I can remember thinking, man, how can you not be proud? How can you not be proud that that person's representing your program, that team's representing your program? And I still feel that way. Every time I watch them play, I think that's how you want the University of Arkansas represented, how you want your state represented.
Arkansas is going to be the number 5 seed in the SEC softball tournament this week in Athens. We'll talk to Courtney Deifel coming up. They're slated to play the winner of number 12 Georgia, number 13 Kentucky. Hogs' first game is on Wednesday.
Tomorrow.
And it'll be televised by the SEC Network. By the way, a couple other notes. Quietly, I don't know if we've really gotten into this this week. Florida State transfer receiver Jaylen Brown committed to Arkansas. Arkansas has been adding players here and there in the transfer portal. It'll be interesting to see what that receiving core ends up looking like. I think they made some good moves in the portal already prior to spring, like Omega Blake, Cam Shanks, punt returner, slot guy. Will be interesting to see how this receiving core rounds out. A couple other notes. Jeff Long rejoined the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. That was news that came out yesterday. And, of course, the biggest story from last night is Chuck's New York Knicks.
Well, that's what everybody's talking about.
Came from 20 down to beat the Celtics.
Yeah! That's right. I know Bar was excited. Did you watch the game last night, Bar?
I did not, actually.
You had better things to do?
I did, yes.
Okay. And the Nuggets, for those following along, the Nuggets
beat Oklahoma
stunned
City.
Oklahoma City.
Stunned them. Hey, if you're having issues with your gutters or your drainage, call Hog Trough Gutters. You hear us talking about them a lot. Couple of reasons for that. Number one, they do great work. They're also locally owned and operated with 30 years of experience, and that makes it even better. They do it all, seamless gutters. They make them on site, trenching work, French drains. They're fully licensed and insured. These are not just guys working out of the back of a truck. Every job comes with a 20-year warranty. They service all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. So if you've got needs in that area, snap a picture, send it to them. They oftentimes, just through that, can tell you what the issue is. But they'll come see you, and again, they'll do their work on site, and you're going to be very happy with the work that they do. Go to hoggutters.com.
Courtney Deifel's next. He's Chuck Barrett.
He's Bo Mattingly.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, it's moms, dads, and grad season at Splash Car Wash, and they're running a special offer just for listeners of the Chuck and Bo Show. Right now, buy one best car wash and get two free. One for mom, one for dad, one for your favorite grad, or just keep one for yourself. We won't tell, because we know how good it feels to drive a clean car. Triple the shine with 3 car washes for only $27. Text Splash Arkansas to 22322 for the link to access this exclusive online offer.
There's no better shopping experience than you're going to find at Macadoodles or at Guess Who in Bentonville. And every Wednesday is Wine Down Wednesday. 15% off every bottle of wine in the store, even if it's already on sale. But when it comes to selection, amazing prices, and unbeatable customer service, Macadoodles and Guess Who in Bentonville is second to none. Wine, beer, and spirits. Stock up for your next party, or just stop by and grab your favorite. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
There's nothing we enjoy saying more than I told you so.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, I go a little bit deeper than most people. I mean, I wanted to know.
There is depth is a word that comes to mind to describe you.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
It's a treat to have the coach of the number one softball team in the country on the Chuck and Bo Show, Courtney Deifel, as they head into the SEC tournament. Coach, I know being ranked number one isn't the end goal in terms of this point in the season, but for it to be the first time in school history, and I know you're right in the middle of what's next, but have you had a chance to reflect on kind of what that means and how you've built and these teams you've had and your coaches have built what you're looking at today?
I mean, I think so, a little bit. Getting that ranking, it's exciting. I'm not going to downplay it to say it's not exciting. Anytime you get a first in program history, and it's a good thing, it's something to celebrate and be excited about. But, I think for us, we're just really focused on what's next. I don't think we're really hung up in that. We're excited. We don't talk about rankings a ton because there's 4 different ranking systems. I'm sure another one has us at, 6 or 7 or 8. Who the heck knows? But we're just putting our focus on the conference tournament as the 5 seed. So ranking of 1 as the 5 seed in conference tournament. It's been a crazy year. It's tough. But I'm proud of this group and just really excited to get going tomorrow.
It's interesting, Coach, here you talk about focusing on the next game. When a program evolves, people hop on along the way. And I'm going to guess there are many Arkansans who are hopping on and have every year that you've been the coach. What's it like balancing all that? Because I know on one side of your head you got to be thinking, hey, we've been doing this for a few years now. But to be in a spot now where you balance all that and you still have to go play, what's the challenge there for you as a coach?
Well, I think it's always just making sure that for our players that they're just really present, because it is. You're right. Like there's been a lot that have jumped on, but we knew that was the case. That's what we signed up for here at Arkansas. Is we knew early in our early days that if we got this thing going and it was something they as the fans and everybody were proud of, they'd attach to it, they'd connect to it. They were there for the taking and winning over, and so with that comes responsibility. We know that, and so it's just more so just trying to balance that, but not give too much attention to it, and just make sure we have the ability to just refocus ourselves and stay present. And I think this team's done an incredible job with it, but even more so, I think Bri Ellis has done an incredible job with it, of just the year that she has put together and continues to produce at the level that she is producing. And she has been pulled in all kinds of directions, and she still is a student. And just being able to manage all of that, I think, is a small snapshot of the big picture of what you're talking about. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing, but we just have to make sure we have the ability to refocus ourselves and stay really present in the moment.
You said this a minute ago. It's remarkable. Number 1 in the country, but the 5 seed in the conference tournament. To ask a simpleton question like, how tough is this league? I mean, we know it's tough, but I mean, when you look at that group of teams, somebody's going to get hot, and that team might be the one that wins the whole thing, it seems like.
Yeah, somebody's got to get hot. I guess it should just be us, don't you think? No.
That'd be fine.
I think it's crazy that the conference has always been strong, and it's never been stronger than it is this year, top to bottom, and of course adding Oklahoma and Texas. But and then in the conference, with softball, we don't play everybody. We're not divisional, and so you play 8 series, and so everybody has a different kind of strength of schedule in the conference. We had the toughest one. Ours was tough. Who we got and who we got on the road, and so for our players to just continue to stay that course, especially after not having a great start to the conference season, they've just been so resilient through it all. And you're right. I mean, this conference is not for the faint of heart. And when you're looking at what is probably going to be passed out as the top 8 seeds next Sunday, there's probably going to be 5 or 6 SEC teams in that grouping. And so it's been tough. It's been crazy. It's been great. It's what you sign up for. So I'm just I'm excited to see what comes next.
Let's talk about this team. What's the identity of this team? What do you guys hang your hat on? What was the difference? What became the difference after you started 1-5 in the league?
Well, this team has a ton of character, and I think if you've had the chance to watch this team, they'll get you. They'll get you. You'll connect with them. You'll love watching how they play. They have a ton of personality, a ton of passion, and they just have a ton of respect for each other. I think the turning point in our season was coming out of those 2 first SEC series, and then coming out of the OU series, and we played UCA at home, and it wasn't a great game either. And so we went at the team. We challenged them. They're kind of boring, like we're too good to play this boring, and so we just kind of challenged them to raise the level of personality, to raise the level of passion, to put their hearts out there, to connect with each other, and they've done that. So the next series was Tennessee on the road. At that time, they were number 7. It's like, as a coach, you're like, oh, great, we get to try to figure it out on the road at number 7. Awesome. But they did it, and they haven't stopped since. And I think for this team, they have a really strong belief in who they are individually and collectively, and they do believe that we can beat anybody in the country. And I think that's what's reflected more in that ranking is I think that we can beat anybody in the country. Now, we can play that game and lose to anybody in the country. That's how crazy this game is. But this team has a really strong belief in themselves individually and collectively, and that's a really great place to be.
Courtney Deifel is our guest, Arkansas softball coach, ranked number 1 in the country after starting 1-5 in conference play. Never lost another conference series after that. I want to zoom out just a little bit. In the history of Razorback softball, there were only 3 winning SEC seasons until you got here. You've had 5 in a row, 2-time SEC Coach of the Year, a couple of SEC titles, an SEC tournament title. And of all the All-Americans this program have ever had, which is 12 first-team All-Americans, you've had 11 of them. Wow. Part of getting players or part of being a winning program is you got to go get players. And it's hard to do that if you don't have a big brand as a program. And it's like the chicken egg thing. Like, how do you get to that point to then be attractive for players? How would you say you and your staff have gone about doing that? Like, how have you gotten players to come here before it was the most attractive or one of the most attractive places to be that it's becoming now?
Well, you guys know, you guys are here. It's a really special place. You just have to get them here. And so early in the recruiting, our recruiting's changed, obviously. Our recruiting early was finding those players that maybe slipped through the cracks or just, had a different edge to them that wanted to come be a part of building something. And then we just had to get them here. We had to sell that they had to come give this place a chance. Because once you get here, it kind of snipers you, like it's not what you expect. It's an incredible community. It's an incredible athletic department. They can see just the feel of this place. And so it was selling that vision and just really trying to get them to give us a chance. And once they got here, they loved it. But if we don't have those early players that want to come give this a chance and try to leave their mark on a program and be wired a little different to come build something, then we wouldn't be where we are. So I think of the Autumn Storms, the Hannah McEwens, the Mary Halfs, the Danielle Gibson who transferred here, Braxton Burnside. We've had some incredible athletes that have come here to build this, and you have to be wired a little different. It's a different responsibility when you're coming to build something as opposed to going to be a part of something that's already built. And so we've been really lucky to have a special group that committed to that. But my staff is incredible. I'd put up our development against anybody in the country. I'd put up our personalities against anybody in the country. I'd put up our collective just commitment to each other in this program against anybody in the country. And so I just think that it has everything here. We have everything here. It's a special place. It's a program where we're going to pour into you as a person and as an athlete. You're going to develop into the best version of yourself, and you're going to compete for championships. And who wouldn't want to be a part of that? So it's been every year this group has committed to doing something to move this program forward, and there's still some firsts out there, and they're committed to getting those.
Coach, good luck at the SEC tournament tomorrow, and we'll be watching the entire postseason. It's been fun to watch the program develop and grow under you and the success that you're having. For what it's worth, we now find that we're trying to watch baseball and softball at the same time on two screens now. Like, I'll take it. Yeah, well, I mean, like, that just like there's an interest level that is more so capturing the common general Razorback fan than just the softball fan. And that's just, I think, a tribute to what you guys have done, the success you've had. And it's been so much fun to watch. Thanks for making time for us today, and good luck.
Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for having me on. Have a great day.
You too. Appreciate it. I mean, it's remarkable.
I will admit, I've watched more this year than probably all the other
I'm just
years
telling you the
combined.
truth. The same. I mean, it's just the truth. It's captured my attention.
I was thinking, she was ripping off some of those names of the players that came before. I'm going to guess most Razorback fans don't know who those names are, but you've probably heard of Bree Ellis, for example. That's part of the evolution of a program. You've got to have great players that come in and play, and nobody knows who you are. And then 5 years later, poof, you got a first-team All-American, and I'm not saying she's a household name, but if you were to throw the name out Bree Ellis to your average Razorback fan, they would at least recognize that she plays on one of the teams. And I don't know if that's been the case before.
We missed an opportunity.
What's that?
You know how we always think of something a second too late?
Yeah.
We missed the opportunity to find out about the fight that Bart tried to cause at the game, and if she recognized it and saw it.
I was thinking about that minute.
Yeah. You got to tell us?
I didn't want to interject.
Ask about the fight. Ask about the fight,
guys. That's what a great producer does. Bart wasn't going to do it.
Cover up for our stupidity. Come on. That's why you guys are here, to cover us.
Come on. Hey, don't forget, if you're looking for some action on the NBA playoffs, maybe future odds on Arkansas winning the College World Series in softball or baseball, don't forget to download the Oaklawn Sports app in the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. You can get in on the action right now. New customers can earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets, and they've got that 10% profit boost going for new and existing customers on qualifying three-leg parlays. You can earn a profit boost of up to 10%. Your parlay with odds, for example, of plus 1,000 could turn into odds of plus 11,000. So check out the details at Oaklawn, the Oaklawn Sports app. Also, anything about Oaklawn, just go to oaklawn.com, the event center, the Forbes recommended hotel, the Forbes 4-star spa. Mother's Day is coming up. Maybe call down there, and maybe you can't do it this weekend. Get you a gift card for Mother's Day for a future weekend in Hot Springs. But Arkansas's best sports betting app is Oaklawn Sports. Bet with the brand you trust, Oaklawn Sports. It's 8:47.
Chuck, you've been around a while, and look, I don't mean that ugly, and Bo, you've been around not as long as Chuck.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, if you're struggling to get your Social Security disability, or you're buried in debt thinking about bankruptcy, don't wait. You need a legal team that knows how to fight for Arkansans.
That's why you can trust Cadell Reynolds. Bill Reynolds and his team know how to get results when it matters most. Whether it's personal injury, disability, or bankruptcy, they've got the experience and they've got your back.
So don't go it alone. Make the right call. Dial 866-314-3728 or visit CadellReynolds.com today.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
The doors are open, and it's a new era of elegance. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry has unveiled its stunningly redesigned 8,500 square foot showroom for an unmatched luxury experience. There's breathtaking jewelry, of course, expert service, and private viewing rooms designed for comfort. And they've got an in-house cafe with handcrafted coffee to go along with a special coffee table book celebrating celebrating Arkansas's heritage because it's more than jewelry. It's your story at Blakeman's Fine Jewelry.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, fellas, listen up. Mother's Day is coming fast, and if you're still thinking flowers and a card are gonna cut it, think again. You wanna know what your lady really wants? A little time to feel pampered, refreshed, and maybe a little bit more fabulous. That's why I'm sending you to the spa at Swetnam Cosmetic Surgery. We're talking Botox to smooth the lines, luxury facials that'll make her glow, and top-notch treatments to help her look and feel amazing. Trust me, this is the gift that she actually wants. So don't wait. Call ahead to Swetnam Cosmetic Surgery at 479-966-4174. That's 479-966-4174. Grab a gift card or book her appointment today. The spa at SCS. Look good, feel even better. Again, call ahead at 479-966-4174 today and talk to our front desk coordinator who will make sure mom is feeling extra special this Mother's Day. Be the guy who gets it right.
You want to talk about washed? You're being brainwashed by idiots. You're following idiots.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You need to run that tape back for me, because that didn't happen. Don't come at me with that crap.
Don't come at me.
Yeah.
Not up in here.
Yeah. You must have your shows mixed up. That didn't happen here, pal.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room. Now's the time to do it. Chevy of Fayetteville rolling out end of the year savings in May. Thousands off Silverados, Tahoes, Colorados, Silverado crew cabs. Chevy of Fayetteville. Together, let's drive. Bar, what have we missed today? What did we screw up?
Well, guys, there's something that I'm really excited about. News coming out of the weekend. NBC is taking over the NBA broadcasts, right? And they're bringing back Round Ball Rock. John Tesh, the great John Tesh.
He's still alive.
Oh, yeah.
This right here.
Yeah, this is it right
is
here.
my
man.
childhood.
Yeah.
No, it is. You're right.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, I grew up on this. watching the NBA on NBC, Michael Jordan and the Bulls.
A little bounce in your step.
Taking on the Lakers on a Sunday afternoon or something like that.
What is it about that? Like, not every network has music that you like. Like, March Madness works.
Yeah.
This works. Sports Center's dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
The Masters.
But not all of them hit.
No, some
like,
of
I
them
don't
are,
like Fox.
Some of them are terrible.
I don't like Fox NFL music.
I don't like any of Fox's music, graphics, any of that. I just don't.
You don't like the big
football
robot
things. I've just never been. in down with that. It's just not my thing.
But this hits. That right there hits. And withstands the test of time.
All-timer.
That's fantastic.
That is exciting news.
What was the story again?
Yeah,
it's coming back. They're
bringing that song back.
They're bringing the song back. Yeah, they got the rights to it.
Now we just need the Michael Jordan intro music.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, what was
Serious,
that commercial?
The Alan Parsons Project.
Yes.
Be like Mike. If I could be like Mike.
Gatorade.
Love it. We're just living in the
Arkansas, a 5 seed in Joe Lunardi's first edition of his 2026 bracketology.
What is Jerry Palm at? Oh, never mind. Never mind.
Man.
Yesterday was Cinco de Mayo. Today is May 6th.
Taco Tuesday, though.
Taco Tuesday, baby. It never ends.
Just keep it going. Keep it rolling. We'll be back and try and do better tomorrow. We had a fun show today.
It was a good time today.
Have a great Tuesday from all of us here at the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, you can beat inflation and upgrade your ride at Chevy of Fayetteville. Right now, drive home a brand new Chevy Silverado, Blazer, Equinox EV, or the Tough 2500 with rates as low as 1.9% APR. Plus, take advantage of huge discounts and get top dollar for your trade-in. Go see Chris, Mark, and Denver at Chevy of Fayetteville, where the deals are big and the road ahead is even better. Chevy of Fayetteville. Let's drive.
I'm Dr. Scotty Bolding, a native Arkansan oral and maxillofacial surgeon. One of my goals is to make Arkansans healthier.
If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options thanks to some true